I am all about men empowerment. We need to get to work. We need to get our women. We need to marry our women. We need to value ourselves. Stop running around and messing with a ton of women. But I'm also female empowerment as well. Ladies, let's get it together. Let's make sure that we are stronger together than we are separate. But what I'm not about to do is sit up here and pretend that genders do not benefit from certain freaking things. It just is what it is. Double standards exist. If you want to know what I'm talking about, I ain't even finna interrupt this shit. Let's hear this 8-minute diatribe of basura. Orale.
Okay, everybody, so we're going to deal with the elephant in the room, which is the question that has been posed to me by hundreds of people, which is, hey, Clayton, why are you suing Diddy and Cassie? Weren't you a male escort? Didn't you get paid? I think that's the most ignorant approach for people to use to try to discredit me as a victim, and it doesn't even require a real response. But I've decided to give a public response because it might help some of those out there too blind to look at the truth of the situation understand what's really going on. Now, yes, at one point I was a male provider being paid by Cassandra Ventura to smash her out and give her orgasms. That was my role. Now, I never advertised as a male escort because that's illegal. I actually gave massages because I was bigger, I was stronger, and I was a really good masseuse. During the course of these encounters where women would call me for massages, I would be propositioned. And many times, if they were attractive or whatever, I was younger. I didn't understand the law as well as I do now. I was kind of gullible. I was easily manipulated for money, I'll be honest. So when these women would offer me money to sleep with them, and it wasn't many before Cassie, I think it may have only been 5 or 6 people. I didn't have a years-long streak of being a man whore. That's not the story of Clayton Howard. But when it did happen, it would be significant amounts of cash. So I would take it. I'll be honest. It's something that I wish I could go back in time and change because the money did not transfer into my life and make things better. But we do what we do, people, and in maturity and in being real, you have to accept the things you do in order to move forward with them. So yes, people, I was called by Cassie, I want to say, for 7 or 8 years, and I was called for one specific purpose, that's to provide for her. I was brought in under the pretense that this was a committed relationship between her and Sean Combs, and she just needed me because I happened to be really good in bed. And ladies, here's the truth, not to toot my own horn, I really was good in bed. I used to crack Cassie in half. And I enjoyed it because Cassie was attractive woman for the most part. She's easy to look at. I was being paid, so yeah, it seemed like an opportune and a really good situation while it was going on. But there were not good things going on while I was there, people. I used to deal with a lot. And I didn't really deal with a whole lot, I want to say, from Sean Combs. Yes, he was abusive towards her because he did a lot of drugs, people. And he's a horribly toxic and abusive man. This is just something that happens. But most of the things I experienced in these rooms would be Cassie exerting her power and influence over me. I've said things before. I told many of these things to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Sean Combs never really made me do anything. Everything that was forced upon me to do, the masturbating while she watched for hours, the repeated sexual contact, Cassie was pushing that all on me. I can say confidently, people, for a man who was in these encounters for 7 or 8 years, not one time did Diddy ever force us to have sex. Not once. And this is the truth, people. I told this to the U.S. Attorney's Office. I told this to everybody of importance who interviewed me. Not one time did I ever see, experience, feel, have an inclination that Cassie was being forced to have sexual contact. Cassie was abused not because she would not have sex, people. That is the greatest lie ever told. Almost like the devil never existed. Cassie was abused because Puffy, I was about to call him P. Diddy. Puffy used to catch her doing things sexually when he wasn't around. And he would get angry and they would fight. Now, some people might say, "Oh, that's why he's controlling her." No, people, you have to understand the dynamic between a couple that swings in order to understand what was going on with Cassie and Diddy. When a man and a woman are in a committed relationship and they want to spice things up, sometimes they will bring another individual to the room, woman, man, whatever. Women bring in more women for their man. Sometimes, if you have a guy who's really secure, or even if he doesn't care about the woman, maybe he just might want to barter her off like a Pokemon card so he can get other girls. He will let another man take his woman to bed. Now, there are always rules in these encounters, especially if it is 2 men and 1 woman, and 1 man is that woman's actual man, spouse, husband, whatever it is. The laws of power dynamics between men and women automatically dictate that the dominant partner will be in control of the situation, and they're going to interact with whoever the person is. In most encounters like that, where a man and a woman are together, and they allow another man to have sexual contact with a woman in front of the main guy, The guy is always in control, unless the woman is incredibly alpha and she's just playing this guy because he's a chump. But if you get a man who's willing to do this, he's in control of that situation. So the man being in control of that situation, he's going to regulate the contact and the activity so he's comfortable. And the woman is going to put this on him because she doesn't want to blow her relationship just because she's having good sexual contact. And there are probably thousands of women out there who hopefully will see this video who totally understand what I'm saying about this, because you might have been in a situation where you and your guy have had a threesome. Diddy and Cassie had extended threesomes called freak-offs. That was their threesomes. These freak-offs weren't parties with a bunch of people in there with debauchery. Maybe the regular Diddy white parties in the mansions was, but freak-offs wasn't like that. Freak-offs was Diddy, his chick, and a dude with a big joint. I was the dude with the big joint for many years. I can tell you, people, there is only one encounter I ever had where there was more than 3 people there. And that was the one time I met Daniel Phillip, who many people have seen me on multiple interviews with. We kind of got cool with each other. But no other time did I go to a P. Diddy and Cassie encounter and there was other people there. No other time was it offered. Cassie didn't even want other people there, people. She wanted me. She would call me a few days before sometime until, Diddy stopped that and told her she could only call me the day before. But people, Diddy did not make this girl have sexual encounters. That's a lie. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate Cassie. You don't have to. Suing someone doesn't mean you hate them. Suing someone, means that they wronged you and you expect justice. Now, I didn't just come out of the woodwork and sue Cassie either, people. I have worked quietly through multiple attorneys behind the scenes trying to quietly rectify this with Cassie. But Cassie's arrogant. She's being protected by the 6 white women who prosecuted Sean Combs. And believe me, people, those 6 white women from the U.S. Attorney's Office, that was no accident. He was not accidentally assigned 6 white women for prosecutors because they just happened to get the luck of the draw. No, people. These women were selected to prosecute an abusive black man because that's what they were. They were feminists, and they may have had a little bit of racial inclination to them. I don't want to call them racist because they did a really good job lying to me, making me think they were legitimate people. But people, they're definitely biased. That's the truth. Now, many people, again, like I've started in the beginning, want to know how I'm a victim. I'm a victim because Cassie Ventura lied and manipulated me for years. During the course of that victimization, several things happened to me, people. I was violated because I was on New York State parole, people. Cassie kept me past curfew, lying, telling me that she would let me go before curfew. And people, one time she didn't let me go till 5 o'clock in the morning. I left, my parole officer saw me, and I got violated, people. I spent like 6-7 months on a violation. This is when I was away, arrested, and Cassie had the abortion, people. I literally got violated because she lied to me and kept me in a freak-off longer than she was supposed to. And I got violated by parole because I got caught. She burned me with an STD, people. A lot of people don't understand why I'm making such a big deal about this. People, I could be HIV positive right now because of the nasty sexual contact of Cassie Ventura that I knew nothing about. Thank God I'm not. But people, I could be dying of HIV or AIDS, and any of the dozens of men who were involved in this could be dying of HIV and AIDS because of Cassie's reckless sexual contact with complete disregard for our health and personal safety. And people, that was wrong. She should not get away with that simply because she tried to play a get-out-of-jail-free card by claiming the toxic man she dated abused her, and these 6 white women prosecutors wanting to prosecute a black man because he's a terrible person. They use that domestic violence to let her out of jail free and collect $20 million. No, people, that's not how justice works. Justice works on scales of fairness. At least it's supposed to be in this country. You see the icon of the woman blindfolded with the scales of justice being balanced. People, the scales of justice are not balanced. The scales of justice are manipulated in favor of people in power and people who want to hurt other people. And this was no different. The prosecution of Sean Combs was a malicious prosecution because they hid the criminal complicity of Cassie and Jane. There is no RICO without the other co-conspirators. That's why Diddy was on trial for a one-person RICO. That's unheard of, people. The other co-conspirators were Cassie and Jane. For anyone who wants to know how Clayton Howard is a victim, you should look at docket 516 in Sean Combs' trial, which is 24, I believe, CR 542 AS. Look at docket 516. It's the sentencing memorandum. It literally breaks it down to you how Clayton Howard is a victim. Thank you for watching, people. Cassie was no victim.
Now listen, Black Homer Simpson. If you want to believe that you're a victim, so be it. So be it. If you want to believe that, I just ain't. Because at what point in time did you say to yourself, I'm about to do this? You said you messed with 5 other women before. Previously. Where were you the victim at? Because from what we understand, how Cassie became a victim was through this word called introduction. Then another word, indoctrination. Then another word, inescapable. See, Cassie was afforded that shit not just because she messed around with the diddler do. She was awarded that money as well because her songs were basically pushed back, held back, her career on hold, her threatened with all this stuff. All you just told us basically is you was hitting a pretty woman raw and then believe you couldn't get bind. You sat up there and said, "Oh man, I could have got AIDS." Yeah. And if I would have made the next right turn, I could have been sleeping with Rihanna. It didn't happen. So you take what you take, and that is what it is. Now, with that being said, get your bread. Shit. Get your money. If you can get your bread, bro. Everybody a victim at this point. Now, I don't give a damn. I know some of y'all like, oh shit, Nash, we thought you was gonna go somewhere else. Nah, bro, listen, I'm not a fan of this shit being a one-man RICO. I told y'all that from the jump. Cassie definitely should have been looked at as that, but she was an unindicted co-conspirator. That's what they call him. When he said, talk about this and talk, we ain't talking about none of that shit, homie. How about we talk about how you keep getting on that damn phone and taking all these interviews and you don't own one freaking tub of Vaseline. Chapstick ain't doing it, bro. With lips as big as yours, you know you can whisper in your own damn ear. You know you can pull your lip over your head and swallow yourself. Just kidding. I ain't trying to do no bullying or nothing like that. This is only for entertainment purposes, not for that. But also too, bruh, listen, man. If you really want sympathy, listen to the big homie Nash. You really, really, really want sympathy? Talk about what you're going to do with the money. Talk about the women and men that you are actually helping out right now before you get your just due. Because if you truly were a victim, other victims should be helped out by you. See, it's one of those things, right? You go to AA meetings and all this shit. They typically hire people who came from those addictions. Back hurt like hell. So when you say these things, it's not that we don't want to believe you. We can't. It's hard to believe you when you got your damn book on Amazon Prime or the Amazon Marketplace and you're trying to sell that shit. It's hard to believe you when you're peddling interviews to be paid for, right? It's hard to believe you when you're not talking about causes in all your videos to actually help out victims if they are male. I don't believe as a grown man, a woman soliciting you for services, you could ever be a victim. Now, men on men, sure. But you were paid. You posted yourself out there. I don't feel bad for anybody, male or female, unless they was forcibly taken advantage of, like physically, because I can't say the word. So no, I don't give a damn, bro. I don't see you as a victim. Don't mean, hey, don't get your bread, bro. I'm not saying that at all. But if you want sympathy, go buy that shit on that same Amazon Marketplace that your ass is on, because it don't exist here, bro. If you get some bread, cool. But once again, listen to the big dog Nash. Over 4 million people a month watch me, and I'm going to give you some game. I help the rappers out a lot. Get people. Get them like the damn Day 26 people. When Boosie asked it, did it hurt your feelings? Did it go on your ass? You need those people. You need a crying circle. Right now, you're just like a big ass fly with lips on it. That's it, bro. We don't care that you knocked down Cassie. From what we understand and what we see, anybody could at that time. Fuck you. Niggas over here, I get paid to drop my drawers and get it going. You think I'm finna be here? She got me. But here's what's ultimately gonna happen. Yeah, Cassie gonna end up realizing what Diddy did, and she ain't gonna go for it. I don't see settlement. I'm gonna tell you why. That's possible. It's 100% possible. Let me give you that caveat. It's 100% possible. If I put percentages, I say 20% she go ahead and give you what you want, and you got to shut up about it. But if she does, she has to realize what Shannon Sharp did. She has to realize what Diddy did. The moment you settle, you open the floodgates. And that's what you can't have happen. So, no. All Cassie got to do is sit up there, get on the stand her damn self, point the finger at Diddy and say, you were only there at the discretion of Sean Combs, and that destroys your widow argument. Because she obviously wasn't the one paying for you. She was handed money to pay for you. But there's going to be some interviews that pop out, and you're going to talk about how your je ne sais quoi can infect women. And that Casanova shit you pulling, bro, it's going to bite you at the bottom of your goddamn dockets and destroy your civil litigation that you think you have. You're going to lose your case. Run your interviews, sell your book. I don't see a W in your future. I think that if you're lucky, she'll settle. But if she understood what she did, she ain't settling shit. And she gonna lawyer herself up. And when she lawyer herself up with her $30 million, they are going to destroy you. Her. Just know, her lawsuit wasn't just about her being beat on and sleeping with a ton of men. It also had music. It also had coercion. It also had threats. It had a whole bevy of things. You failed. And since you're not able to articulate that because none of that shit happened, you're going to lose. Subscribe, turn that bell to notify, share to keep your people aware. Click right here, though, to see the YNW Melly update. Crazy, crazy times we living in. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know your thoughts on this one real quick. And hit that button if you want to just watch the playlist.